Hi everybody, it's Tom from FindTheBestCarPrice.com. Today we're going to take a look at the all-new compact truck from Hyundai. It's the Santa Cruz, and this is the premium model, so this is going to be the high end. I know a lot of you like to see lower end trim levels, but since this is the only one that was available here at the dealership today, well, this is what we're going to take a look at. So obviously an all-new model for 2022. It is available with either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. This one's going to be all-wheel drive, and there are two engine options available under the hood. You can go with the 2-liter naturally aspirated version that makes 191 horsepower, or you can take a look at what's under the hood on this model, and I'll tell you what's here. This is going to be the turbocharged 2-liter, making more horsepower. And how much more horsepower are we talking about? Well, 281 is exactly what you'll find here, 311 pounds-feet of torque. And good news for those of you who are not a fan of the continuously variable single-speed transmission, there is not a CVT on this model. It is an 8-speed automatic transmission. MPGs come in at 19 miles per gallon city, 27 out on the highway, a combined total of 22. And according to Hyundai, every 100 miles you drive with your Hyundai Santa Cruz should use 4.5 gallons of gas. And a quick look at the remote here. Everybody's favorite feature, remote start, found right there. You can also remotely open the tailgate, which we will do. That is a power tailgate. It is dampened. You can open it with the button on the rear as well. And then you've got the cover right here. We'll get that out of the way. One thing that I did notice is that you want to make sure that that strap kind of stays close if possible. You know, it might be a little hard to do that, but the thing about it is that this tailgate, unlike on the Honda Ridgeline, does not open out, and so you can't do this with it. And there's a good reason why you should be able to, because just like the Honda Ridgeline, you see that open sign right there? Well, all you have to do here is open this to reveal the bed trunk. The only other truck I've seen so far with a bed trunk besides the Ridgeline, also in-bed lighting, tie-downs. And just like the Ridgeline, this is a great multitasker. While the Ridgeline, I realize, is a mid-sized truck and this is a compact truck, you can still use this as a multitasker. You can fill that with ice, or you can hose down dirty gear after whatever you've done during the day, boots, overalls, whatever, and then drain the water out through that drain plug right there. That's a very nice feature to be able to use. It is a rubber drain plug, so hopefully that will hold up over the course of time, but this is a pretty neat setup back here with some real nice functions, some real versatility that you don't get with most trucks. And speaking of versatility, you have a couple of storage compartments, one on the driver's side and also on the passenger side. Over here on the passenger side, even though I probably can't reach it from where I am right now, you do have the power outlet located right there. So again, a lot of great versatility and functionality, if I can keep from getting tongue twisted. When it comes to rear seat passengers, here's what they'll find, and in this case, not find. There's no door bins back here, although you do have cup holders built into both sides of the doors, both side doors, I should say, and you can lift the seat up. Let's see if I can do that, show you how to do it. You just pull right here. That's gonna come up on both sides. The tools to change a tire and all that stuff are located over there. Other than that, there's not a lot to talk about back here. No rear air conditioning vents, and no connectivity of any sort. But do have a sunroof up there, conventional size, but it is there. This is the part of the video that is more important for the passengers than for the driver. Well, maybe, we'll see in a second. But if you are a passenger and you're saying, well, I don't want to have a door that doesn't have a door bin, well, you better call Shotgun, because that's where you're going to find the door bins. Here on the front doors for the passenger and the driver. You have a power driver's seat, but a manually adjustable passenger seat, but it is adjustable. We'll take a quick look into the glove box right here. But the most important thing is what we're going to find from the driver's seat. Let's take a look. And as advertised, well, there's the door bin. So for the driver, well, you might find the front seat passenger, if they don't get up there fast enough and call Shotgun, they might be trying to grab the remote from you so they can have a door bin. Okay, maybe not, but you can see what's here. A tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel, and we'll hop inside and hit the push button start. I'm gonna close that door one more time, and let's just look. Here is what the instrument cluster looks like. This is normal. We'll go into sport, and then we'll go into smart, And then we'll go into snow, something we're not very likely to need around here in Northwest Louisiana. But you can see what's there. There are your steering wheel mounted controls. And an obvious thing you would expect, you've got the shifter paddles up here on the steering wheel also, so you can drive spiritedly in your Hyundai Santa Cruz. If you want to, you can do that. Let's take a look at some of the functionality that you have here within the infotainment screen. There is actually quite a bit here. We can even go and turn the rear view camera on and let you see what that looks like. A nice clear view. And you also have multiple views here, so we'll let you see what you have there. You can also go in and make some changes depending on what you want to do there. You're going to find everything for the dual zone climate control right here. And you also back here have the controls for the heated seats as far as that functionality goes. No ventilated seats here, but heated seats, connectivity in the way of 2 USB ports and a 12-volt power outlet. And here is your wireless charging pad. Give me just a second here as I'm a little unprepared. I'm going to throw my phone down on there. There we go. Let that come on so you can see that. And no push button shifter here, so when you're not a fan of the push button shifter, well, here's something you're going to like. There's your cup holders and some more one-touch features right here as far as functionality for the vehicle goes. Right here is your downhill control, your downhill brake control. So if you were towing something, that would be useful. And then also we're going to find auto hold right there for the brakes. That's brake hold mode basically. Power parking brake, and that's how I brought the camera up. Mode selector. And last but not least, let's take a quick look into the center console right here. While it's not the deepest console I've ever seen, it is there. There is some space within there. It really fits the size of the truck. All right, here we go with the Santa Cruz. I am in sport mode and easing onto the gas pedal. My goodness, really? That's kind of impressive, actually. I'm going to have to get on the brakes a little bit. For the horsepower that's under the hood, 281 horsepower, I'm kind of impressed. I'm not pushing on it that hard, and it's getting down the road with absolutely no problem. Now, one thing, when I did the Ford Maverick in a recent video, I was very impressed with the ride quality. I'm equally as impressed here. In fact, maybe a little bit more. It really seems to me that the Santa Cruz just kind of is a little bit above when it comes to comparing the two, which is obviously what we're doing with our video here today, is seeing which is better, the Hyundai Santa Cruz or the Ford Maverick, both being compact trucks. But I'll tell you what, there are some features and functionality in the bed back there, especially that bed trunk, that multitasking bed trunk that, like I said earlier, I've only seen that on the Honda Ridgeline until now. That feature has so many different possibilities as to what you can do with it. I mean, if you just need to store something back there, you don't have to throw any ice in, you don't have to necessarily use it to hose off your dirty gear or anything like that, but all of that is there if you need it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to normal mode. So when this light changes, we'll take off down the road and see what the differences might be. Now, one thing I did want to explain when I was going through the driving modes earlier, you had smart mode. What exactly is that? Well, basically, if you've seen my videos on the Land Rover models and the Jaguars, where you can actually push the mode selector down and it automatically selects the drive mode for you, well, essentially that's what it is. It's kind of a combination of all those different modes. So let's see here. I can tell a little bit of a difference in how it's accelerating down the road, although we can't go too far with it because we have a little bit of a slow poke in front of us and we're about to turn up here to the right. But still, I can tell a little bit of a difference in how the engine is working, how the transmission is working, which are typically going to be the things that happen with sport mode. I'll tell you what, I'm very impressed. The steering is nice and responsive, and by no means is this anything to do with high performance. In fact, one thing I have noticed is that you do get a little bit of body roll, let's say that correctly, going through some of the corners, but that's not a big deal because the reality is that this is not meant to be a high performance model, but it's going to be a little soft in the corners because that's part of what you get with a smooth ride. It's not going to have that stiff suspension and the tuned shocks for the best driving experience. Everything's tuned for the most quality ride experience that you can possibly have. And speaking of that, I'm going to stop down here in just a second and hop into the back seat. I've got Wesley from the dealership with me. If you plan on buying this model, ask for Wesley Swayze, or maybe they could ask for Dalton, I don't know. For some of you, you'll get that, some of you, you won't. But anyway, I'll throw something up on the screen so you'll kind of have an idea of that with the last name Swayze. But we're going to stop up the road here, and I'm going to hop into the back seat and tell you what the ride quality is like back there. All right, here we go. Second time we've done this in one of our videos where I have my chauffeur here. I really appreciate that. Since Wesley was in the passenger seat, I said, let's just switch places. You can sit in the driver's seat and I'll sit in the back and tell you what the ride quality is like back here. Now, as far as space goes, there is actually a reasonable amount of headroom back here for me, at least kind of in this area. It's kind of funny how the roof line goes. It kind of comes back and goes up a little bit. And really, wow, pretty impressed with the ride quality so far back here. It's not quite what I expected, although I will say, for me personally, I think the seats are a little flat back here. It's not that that's a big deal, but it just, I don't know, it just kind of feels a little different than what I would expect. But of course, I don't spend a lot of time riding in the back seats of vehicles. It's to the point where you really need to experience it for yourself to make a decision. At least your passengers will, because I know those of you who are watching the video are probably not going to be the passengers. You'll be the driver. But I am impressed. It's nice and comfortable back here. The armrest seems to be in a good position here as far as as far as what's on the door. Now, you don't have a fold down armrest back here or anything like that, but you do have the cup holders in the doors. A little bit of storage with really what would be the grab handle right here if you wanted to throw something down in there, whatever, and the seat pockets, yeah, there's a new word for you. The seat pockets, or map pockets as they're commonly known. But overall, I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. I often say that the roads here in Shreveport, Louisiana are the ultimate test of shocks and suspension.
To learn more about the model in today's video, visit the link in the description for a detailed comparison between trims and pricing for the vehicle we featured or any vehicle you may be interested in. These pages feature information such as our recommended trim level based on price, value, and features. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.